What is hatching, Tug Peeps? Oldmantup coming at you today with our Week 10 matchup against YoFizz and the Atlanta Hawluchas. YoFizz being a longtime friend of mine and fellow member of the NCO. So throw up some hashtag NCO pride in the comments down below, even before the match happens, because no matter what happens, you know when NCO throws down, it's going to be a good match to watch. So, gonna do it a little bit differently this time. We had to get our upload from YouTube, so I apologize for that little thing being down there, but it's not that much different from what I normally do. So, it's better than Showdown, am I right? I think I'm right. But let's check out the match and see if we were right about what YoFizz was gonna bring today. He brought that Hawluchas, we kind of thought he was going to, but wasn't certain. He brought that Porygon 2, so we really need to get that Eviolite knocked off of that thing, make it a lot easier to deal with. He brought that Whimsicott, which we thought he was going to bring. He brought Zoroark, which we were iffy about. He brought Ments. We are going to have to try and figure out what kind of Ments this is. A lot of things on this team are relatively bulky, so this could be an attacking variant. We'll have to see as the match progresses. And he's got Volcanion. Now, he has led Volcanion in almost every single one of his matches. Now, unless it's Scarfed, our max speed Rotom H is going to outspeed it, and that is what we are going to lead with, and that was our thinking going into this. We saw Volcanion, we knew that's what he was going to lead with, so that's what we picked. So let's dive right into this battle. I'm going to thank Superblaw411, coach of the Boston Red Sox, for recording this match for us and getting it uploaded. So that was fantastico. So if you see like an ad for his channel pop up in this, that's why. So we're past the team builder and we are jumping right into this match. We're going to turn, there we go. I was waiting for the sound effects to come up. I'm going to turn that down real quick while we're waiting for that. And he does lead Volcanion. He does not have an electric resist, so we can freely volt switch here. Going to go into 2 Sweet. And he's going to trace our Levitate. And that's something we want to be wary of because, there we go, there's that thing for Nick. I'm going to Volt Switch out on that Porygon 2. And we are going to go straight out into Jade, our knockoff Tentacruel. Now, I know he's not going to want to stay in on this. Even if he has a Thunderbolt, he knows we're going to be able to eat those for days. And he doesn't want his Eviolite knocked off, which he has to assume that's what we went into. He's going to bring in Ments here, going to have the Intimidate, so we're thinking it's not a Scarf variant, but we still go for the knockoff, which is going to give us a little bit of information. It's going to show that he has the Yachi Berry, fearing those Ice-type moves. He's going to drop a Draco Meteor here. Now, unless he's invested, this isn't going to do a lot because we're especially defensive this week. And look at that pitiful damage. Something we can surmise from this, he doesn't have a lot, if any, investment in special attack. Based off the damage calcs, which makes me think he may be mixed, or he's probably going to be bulky after seeing the Yachi Berry and not a Lumberry. So he is going to defog here, and we are going to Toxic Spikes. We're going to exchange this for a while. So we're going to talk about some other things while this is going on in the background. We want to talk about Aaron Blakely. Aaron Blakely, a gentleman from Twitter, who posted a picture of a Pittsburgh Pirattatas shirt that he bought. Thank you very much for that. Unfortunately, he didn't post a picture of himself wearing it. So Aaron, if you're watching this, post a pic of yourself. You'll make it into the video. Another thing that I haven't gotten up since our game with Miguel. We have some fan art from Lagadier, longtime fan. That's going to go up pow right now. So that's fantastico. And thank you very much. It is a picture, as you can see, of Moxie Heracross just holding up Miguel's team as it single-handedly swept the end of that match. So we are still in this deadlock of Toxic Spikes and Defog. Something else we can talk about, we've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go lately, which is just fantastic. And he's going to stop and drop a Draco Meteor here. Unless he crits, that's still not even going to do a half face off the damage he did the first time. And that is going to do 2 Black Sludge recoveries worth. And we're going to get up that second layer of Toxic Spikes here. Now, he didn't go for Earthquake there, which makes me think that he does not have it. So, makes me think possibly purely specially offensive if many other attacks. He's probably got Roost, because he hasn't shown any real attacks here. We're just going to go for the Venoshock to see what's going on. And that does a reasonable chunk. That was a crit, which lets us know that he is a bit more defensive based off the damage output there. Now we're going to switch here because we know he has to go for defog, and we're back into the match. That's going to bring Naughty out here, and Naughty hasn't been intimidated yet. Now he's going to show the Roost, so we know 3 of his 4 moves. Draco Meteor, the Thing, Defog, and Roost. Thinking the last move was probably going to be Hydro Pump because of the coverage it provides for my team. He's going to bring in Whimsicott here. So that was a pretty good move. I go for the Rock Slide. I was so close to clicking the Poison Jab, and it would have been fantastic if I did there. Now, I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do, but I don't want to switch because I don't want to get Stun Spored, and I don't want to get Leech Seeded or Giga Drained for much. And he's going to Encore me here, which is fine. I'm going to miss a Rock Slide there, which, again, fairly negligible damage, but every little bit helps in a battle like this, which is going to be a war of attrition. Now, he's going to switch out here, and he's always faster than me no matter what. So we're going to see what he's going to get to go in. He's going to go out into Florges. So I'm like, okay, not that big of a deal. We're going to go out into Jade. We have the Liquid Ooze, so if he did go for the Giga Drain or Leech Seed or anything like that, he was only going to be hurting himself, which is why we went out into Jade. Now, Elgin here is going to be faster than us, and is going to go for the Knockoff. So, I'm completely physically defensive. I wasn't even thinking at this point what item it might have, and it turns out that it is the Zoroark. We're going to knock off the Black Glasses. Now, the damage output here is always a 2-hit KO. I didn't do the damage calc right away because it threw me off that it was. We're going to pause this just for a second so we can explain a thing or two. I didn't switch out there because I really thought I was going to be able to take another one. I did the math in my head instead of on the calculator, which is always a bad idea because you think in your head in the moment that your poke can pull through and do it. And I did the math in my head. If he's knocking off, he gets the boost from my Black Sludge, and he gets the boost from the Black Glasses, which I knocked off that turn. Thinking that nearly doubled the damage output, I stayed in, getting ready to take another one, which I didn't, and I ran the calcs after the match, after I got the set off of Fizz, and always 2-hit KO'd me no matter what. Always. So, we're going into this. Now, he's purely, from this point, adamant, so we know he's almost completely physically offensive, based off of the damage that was doing. He had to be adamant and fully invested in order for that to always two-shot me. So, gonna set up the Sand Tree, which is gonna start weakening things all over the place. Gonna use the Grass Knot, reveals the Grass Knot. Now, that special investment right here is gonna show how much it is worth. Now, we go for the Stone Edge just in the event he was gonna go into Salamence. It hit that for super effective damage, and anything on his team that resisted it also resisted the Earthquake. So that was a safe play. I was going to switch out into the Bebe here, and we're going to slack off. Now, we're going to switch out here anticipating another Encore because we don't want to be locked into Encore. And he's probably either just going to U-turn here. We think either the U-turn or the Encore is fairly obvious at this point. And we are just going to switch out into Excadrill. Excadrill can come in, always chases this thing out with Iron Head possibility. Goes for the Toxic there. We dodge that, which is fantastic. Now, is he going to be man and run the double effect, or the double status? And he does. He's going to miss the Stun Spore, which unfortunately is only 75% accurate. And he's going to get the low end of the spectrum there and miss, which is beneficial for us because that Stun Spore would have sucked. I brought Excadrill in thinking that, left it in thinking that it wouldn't be a double status, but it was. So he's going to bring out Tematonga here, and we can't stay in and take what we believe is going to be the predicted Hydro Pump. And we bring out Naughty because Tentacruel's now gone because of our horrendous misplay around that, and that Hydro Pump does nothing. Now, we ran the calcs here, and a Draco Meteor from this Mence that was doing damage on other things will only do, at maximum, 46%. So, we know we can stay in and take whatever. I'm going to Tracer Regenerator here, which is really unfortunate for us. We just hit it with a Rock Slide because it's super effective damage and also hits almost everything coming in for neutral damage again. So that's bueno. Now, the Sandstorm's going to stay raging like a Cajun, and he's going to switch out here. And he's going to go right back out into Tamatonga because he hasn't seen a special attack from us yet. It's just going to get the Intimidate. And I'm going to say was assuming like the Leaf Power Whip was coming at him, or possibly the special Leaf Storm. Not exactly sure what his mindset was there, but I know I can live the hit here. So I stay in, and I'm just going to drop a Rock Slide on him. But I'm not going to live the here because he is going to crit us. Now, this crit is just... Now, why is that bad? Because if he brought the appropriate water coverage, which anyone coming against my team who watched my match last week will, it removes our last water resist. We lost Tentacruel to a misplay, and we lost Tangrowth, two of our bulky walls, to... We lost Tangrowth, the crit there. We would have survived outside of the crit. I'm not being salty, I'm just saying what is on my mind. Fizz can take it, he's a grown man, he doesn't care. We already talked about this before I narrated, so it's alright. That hurt a lot, because I'm going to guess most of the rest of his team has water coverage, including that Salamence, who I could have taken crits for days and regenerated all my health. Not all of it, but most of it, you know what I mean. So let's get back into this with that in our mindset. The Sandstorm is going to die here. So we're going to go back out into these hands, and we can just freely Volt Switch on this thing or drop a Thunderbolt, and he's going to stay in. Now it's just like, holy cow, Thunderbolt didn't do quite half. I was thinking a Specs Thunderbolt would do a bit more, and he is going to recover what I'm taking away. But anything coming in is going to take a huge hit from this Thunderbolt. Going to trace our Levitate again, and this Thunderbolt is going to hit, and it is going to do barely a quarter, and I don't even think it was that much. We got to switch out here. This thing, we lost our knockoff Mon to poor play, and now we've given this thing Levitate, so we can't Earthquake it, which is bad. So he's going to switch out here. I'm going to go into Elgin, the Florges, and I'm not as worried about staying in on this Florges. It's going to have the hidden power, which we are going to just figure based off the rest of our team is hidden power water, and that's going to do hardly anything. The special defense investment on this Hippowdon shining like gold, because all that glitters is not gold, right? Whatever. I'm going to continue to hidden power us, and we can take two of those and slack off this damage with ease, unless he's going to start critting us again. Going to get the Earthquake up here, and that is going to do immense damage. So he continues to HP water, and we are going to just slack off here because now it's our time to slack off. He's going to bring out Tamatonga. We're going to get that Intimidate off, and we're just going to slack off and recover almost all of that health, which is just bueno because we need to keep this thing healthy to keep the sand active. So once we take down this Mence, we will be able to get Excadrill without the worry of Intimidate drops. It's going to roost here. I'm just like, okay, we're going to play these games, Get him with the Stone Edge, gonna miss. So I'm like, oh, come on, baby. Give me some luck with some things here. Going to set up the Defog, which is going to get rid of those rocks. Is going to lower my evasion, which is going to almost guarantee that Hydro Pump and Draco Meteor always going to hit. I'm going to get the crit there, which is going to make up for that Stone Edge missing, kind of. We get half of the damage we would have had on it the first time. Had we hit it the first time and crit that second time, this would be dead and it wouldn't have mattered. He's going to roost there, and we're going to get that Earthquake off. And like I said, with this damage, every little bit would have helped. So Salamence is sitting down right around half. We know this is our chance to get out and get in Burb. We're going to be able to outspeed because we're max speed. He's going to roost up here. Now, going to Mega Evolve, and we're going to start dropping Hurricanes because nothing left on his team, well, nothing on his team to begin with can just straight up take the Hurricanes. And if he wants to stay in with the investment he has, we can take a Draco Meteor, not terribly comfortably, but do huge damage. He's going to hit the Draco. Draco won't miss at this point because we have no guard up. Keep that in mind. And we're going to survive this fairly comfortably. And Salamence is going to be switched out. And he's going to bring it in to Sweet Porygon 2. And he's going to trace our no guard. Now, take mind of this, because you're going to see later in the match why that matters. Going to drop that Hurricane, and it does just less than half what he has left. We've dropped 2 Hurricanes and gotten no confusions. We dropped a third one, still no confusion. I'm like, what the poop? So, yeah. Now, he's going to drop that Blizzard. Wasn't expecting that at all, so he brought Blizzard fully expecting that he was going to get no guard at some point. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I bring in these hands, and he's got the Twisted Dimensions up. He's going to recover, and Porygon 2 was all that way down in health. Going to drop that Thunderbolt, and we're not going to be able to do anything to this. So all of that work that Mega Pidgeot put in is reduced to literally nothing because we weren't able to finish it off because of the Trick Room he set up, and he's just playing this Porygon 2 fantastically. Now, he's got the Zap Cannon, so I'm just like, we've seen Recover, Trick Room, Zap Cannon, and Blizzard, so he literally has nothing on this for our Rotom Heat. So Rotom Heat can sit in here for days as long as he doesn't freeze us with a Blizzard. We're going to be sitting pretty, and again, we're going to miss out very shyly with the Thunderbolts, so that is sad face. I'm going to be able to set up the Trick Room again. And he's just going to control the match at this point. So I'm going to switch out into my Hippowdon because depending on his investment, I should be able to easily take 2 Blizzards and fight him back. And we're just going to slowly run him out of Blizzards. He's already used 1. And we can slack off in the face of this thing and slowly whittle it down with the Sandstorm. And we're actually faster than this. I didn't even think to look to see whether or not we were going to be out-slow this thing. But he's going to recover. Had we gone for Earthquake there, I don't think it would have KO'd. But it would have made me feel a lot better. Yeah. Again, just sloppy play on my part, not checking to pay attention. Not checking to see whether or not this thing would have outsped us with the Trick Room or not. And as we can see, we're still easily taking Blizzards and getting back a little bit from slack off each turn. And as long as I'm out slowing this thing, I got the Stealth Rocks back up, which is going to hurt a lot of his Mons when they switch back in. And we can take this thing's Blizzards for days, because Blizzard has 5 PP, at max is what, like 8? And slack off, I think, has 16. I know we have more than he has, so we can, provided he doesn't crit and or freeze us, like I said, outslow this thing, and just let the Sandstorm slowly whittle him down in between taking hits from this thing. And every time he goes to recover, we get a free slack off, more or less. And I was so frustrated at this point in the match, I lost count of the Blizzards. And that's on me. I was writing down and keeping track of everything else on this piece of paper, like the Trick Rooms. There was too many things going on at once in my brain to write everything down. But he just keeps on recovering. And we are still sitting at a very healthy range to where we can come in and take 1 from just about anything on his team that's left. We can still take a Grass Knot from the Zoroark. We can still take HP Water from Florges. We can still take Dracos and Hydro Pumps from Salamence. And we're taking Blizzards from this thing. And the only thing we can't take is Volcanion, which we couldn't take anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, we're just going to get a little bit of attack damage here. Based off of how much that did, it wouldn't have mattered had we Earthquake the first time, but now the Sandstorm subsides. He's going to switch out. I don't know if he was predicting us to switch out, or he just wanted to get another set of Intimidate off, but he's going to almost die to Stealth Rocks, going to get the Intimidation, and at the same time, we switch out, so we both switch out this turn. We're going to send out these hands. Now, I'm going to get the Thunderbolt off, and that's going to kill the Salamence, which is bueno, because that means nothing is going to come in and intimidate our Excadrill anymore. So 2 Sweet comes out, so I'm like, okay. He's going to Trace, he's going to get the Levitate. He doesn't have anything that's really going to hurt Excadrill at this point. So we're going to bring out Excadrill, and we're going to set up a Swords Dance in this thing's face. It can recover, it can Trick Room. Without the Sand Up, I outslow everything left on his team, I think, except this Porygon 2. And if I'm not mistaken, he missed a Blizzard there. He is going to hit it here. For some reason, I thought that first Blizzard ran him out, which is why I kind of stayed in. We're going to go for the Rock Slide here, see how much damage we get. I should have set up another Swords Dance, but I really thought he was going to switch out that turn. And he's going to switch out, and he's going to go out into Elgin again. And we set up another Swords Dance. Had we gone for another attack there, that would have been really good for us. Now, I don't know, I thought the Trick Room was over at that point, which is why I switched out. Had I just stayed in and attacked, I would have outslowed this thing. And now the dimensions return to normal, and this thing outspeeds me. And it's like, I'm like, oh no, what just happened? And this literally broke my mind at this point. We were at the, like, 10-minute left mark in the battle timer, and I was really worried that we were going to run out of time in the middle of this match. So about a million things were going on in my head at the point of this battle, and I'm just like, I switched out Excadrill because I thought I was going to he would outslow me, and that didn't process in my brain from what happened earlier in the match that this thing is scarfed. And you're going to see here, that realization not clicking in my mind is really going to screw up this last play for me. I thought I was going to outspeed with the Rotom Heat and take it out with the Thunderbolt. I thought that Excadrill was going to outspeed it, which I'm not, because he's scarfed and there's no Sand Up. And my mind just literally exploded at this point, because he switched it in on my Swords Dance and then stayed in and attacked. And I was just like, what? Why? What? Ugh. And I wasn't paying attention to my speed tiers. Had I been paying attention earlier when he outsped something early in the match and attacked, I would have known for a fact he was scarfed. And it's sloppy play on my part, and this is just sloppy play, and it sucks, because I had this match so close, and had I switched out into Hippowdon, I take 2 of these HP waters, get a Slack Off up, and I wouldn't have lost Rotom H, and I wouldn't have lost Excadrill, and I would have been sitting at a really, really good point in that match. And yeah, I choked this match away, not paying attention to what was going on, because so many things were happening at the same time, between counting Sandstorm terms, between counting Twisted Dimension terms, and everything else. And Big Boy Volcanion is just going to come in and finish it off with a Steam Eruption, which kills us 100% of the time unless he misses, but it is 95% accurate, so that is kind of possible. So we are going to lose against YoFizz and the Atlanta Hawluchas, and that is going to be that. Thank you for watching this match, guys. I apologize that I haven't been as active as I normally am this week. Once again, congrats YoFizz. That was a fantastic 3-0 win on your side. You played it fantastically, and like I said, I just choked it away at the end there. And we're on a 3-game losing streak, which I really don't like. So if Gym Leader Geo or Cooper win this week, they are going to overtake us in the division, and we, based off of the division, our conference, there are 3 other teams, or no, there's the Scissors leading their division, which is in our conference. YoFizz and I believe Miguel both are at 5-4 going into this week. So Fizz takes a step over us. If Miguel wins, he's going to take a step over us. So that puts them ahead of us in the race currently. If Fizz gets the tiebreaker, Miguel does not because we beat him, is simply with that for playoffs. So this terrible play really hurts our playoff chances. And like I said, if Gio or Cooper win, they take one step ahead of us. Well, if Gio wins, it puts us, I believe, in a tie record-wise, but he has the better differential. And he's got the tiebreaker for beating me 2 games. So that's just, oh my goodness. We really screwed the pooch by not winning this match and setting ourselves up for a coast to the playoffs. Now we're going to be week to week. I believe we play Battler X and the Milwaukee Saucebucks next week, who we beat in a narrow 1-0 victory. Thanks a lot in the beginning from the help of a crit in that match. So we really have to buckle down and stop playing Pokemon Go so much, for real, and get out there and battle and get prepped for these matches. I didn't properly prep for this match, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. I didn't prep properly, so I didn't have the proper coverage. I mean, looking at my team, what the hell was I thinking bringing rock ground on 1, 2, 3 of my Mons? A lot of his stuff just laughs in the face of that. So not having knockoff on 2 things really hurt me. I really should have had knockoff on Tangrowth. I really should have. Knowing it was going to bring Porygon 2, I had nothing with a fighting move on my team, which was just stupid. And I forgot to put Trick on Rotom H. I really wanted to have Trick on that. If I had switched the Trick, been able to trick that Porygon, the choice specs instead of the Eviolite, it would have been GG. But I didn't, and that sucks, and it's just, ugh. Or if I'd have been able to lock one of his walls, like Whimsicott into a move, or Salamence into a move, even though giving it a specs would be not ideal, it would have been locked into a move. So these little oversights and things that I didn't switch at the last minute that I should, that's all on me. And this 3-game losing streak is on me. Yeah, I've been working a lot, but I'm in the GBA. I gotta make time. I'm just disappointed in myself more than anything. It's not Fizz's fault, it's not Hax's fault. Yeah, the crit on Tangrowth sucked, but it's a crit. It happens. Like I said, more upset with myself than anything not taking the time to properly prep for this match, and taking the time in match to examine everything that was going on. Like I said, I just missed some things I should have picked up on, and we're at 5-5, so we're back at 500. We are 2 losses away from losing a chance at the playoffs, and we are 2 losses away from not ending the season at 500, which is what our goal was going in. So we really have to buckle down and put our nose to the grindstone and win these last 2 matches. Sorry guys, I apologize for that negative Nancying there at the end, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I expect more from myself, and I expect you guys to expect more from me in putting more into these matches. Unfortunately, I fell into the hole that is Pokemon Go addiction, and have been battling Team Valor in my city to prove the dominance of Team Mystic, Go Blue. But anyways, on a more positive note, since Pokemon Go has come out, in the first week it came out, I literally walked 21 miles, 3 miles every single day. So that's a good thing. And I am fairly proud of that accomplishment, considering I hadn't done that since my surgery. And it was literally the first time I had walked a 5K since my surgery. My dog likes it too. We both lost some weight, so that's bueno. So let's get off the negative Nancy train. Let's jump on into the positive Polly train and say, what, if you have played Pokemon Go, say what team you joined, and let me know what good has come from it. You're losing weight, you're getting more active, you're feeling good about yourself. Alright guys, it's been Oldmantup, and we will catch you on the flip side. Peace.